Hey, it's Annie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're spilling some tea. It's gonna get juicy in here today. I am gonna be answering your questions. I will try to get through as many as I can. I just thought, let's do a get ready with me. So if you wanna pop this in, if you're getting ready on your phone or your pad or whatever, we'll just kind of do it together. This is not about the makeup or anything that I'm using, but if you're curious, it will be listed below. One of the questions is on my Instagram, because I know some of you guys have been telling me that you can't get to my community page from your iPhone or your pad. I have no idea what that's about. I would definitely contact YouTube about that. I don't know if maybe there's an app you need to update with that, because it's not anything special. Everybody should be able to access it. So I would find out from them, because I have no idea. The first one comes from Cheryl, and Cheryl is asking me if here's her three questions. Do you cuss in private? Of course. What kind of car do you drive? I see you in a sporty car. How much sleep do you get? Do you sleep on your back to save your face? First question, do I curse? Yes, I do. I do curse, but I do not curse in front of children. I see that at Disney and it's really upsetting. I don't know why people do that. So usually if I'm upset or if I'm talking about something that's upsetting to me, I curse. I don't drive a sporty car. I drive a SUV. The last question was, do I sleep on my, how many hours sleep do I get? Do I sleep on my back? I go to bed usually about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I go and I do my skincare and stuff. So I would say probably between 11 and 11:30 I probably fall asleep. I don't sleep on my back. I tried doing that one time and I had issues with my back after I did that. So, and I have a nice mattress. I have a very, very good mattress. It's actually a back sleeping mattress, and no, I tried it once and I'm like, nope, I'd rather just get my sleep, thanks. Karen asks, where would you want to live if money was no object? Describe the type of house I have. I'm already living where I want to live. I love my house. It is not a fancy house. It's a ranch style house. So the layout is perfect for me. I'm living where I want to live. I love where we live. I love my house. Like I said, I love the layout of it. You have beautiful teeth. Thank you. What do I use to whiten my teeth? What's the secret? I don't have perfectly white teeth. They're a lighter shade of yellow. I drink coffee, so my teeth are never going to be really, really white. But what I use is the Listerine, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's the Listerine whitening rinse that they have. That's what I use. And then my toothpaste, I think, is by Colgate, and it's a whitening toothpaste. I used to do that gel stuff with the tray, but my teeth were getting really sensitive, so I stopped using that. So I can't use that anymore. But this is what I do. It works for me. You can use that rinsing, the Listerine you can use twice a day. I don't, because it doesn't make sense for me to use it in the morning and then go have a cup of coffee. So I usually do that. I usually do it at night before I go to bed. Helpful and Happy said, I saw from one of your accidental posts that you wrote a book. Can you tell us more about the book and if you will be writing more? I wrote a very small book. It was more of an instructional book on painting techniques. I was writing a book on home decor and I scrapped it, but I just never released it. I was not confident enough to put that out, and I still have it, but I just didn't think it was good enough. I wrote a book, but I didn't publish it because I just didn't feel like it was good enough. I just didn't. I know I just didn't. And am I going to write another book? No, I'm not. I just don't think I'm a good writer. I really don't. I just don't have what it takes. Some people are good, and I just don't think that's my niche. I'm motivated to start your channel. What are some of the challenges of being a YouTube creator? I started my channel because of my blog. I wanted to share painting tips, but I didn't want to type it all up in a blog post because it's a lot. There's just a lot to say. So I just thought it would be easier to show everybody. Challenges for YouTube is being seen. It is really, really hard to be seen. Some of my people from my blog followed me, but not everybody did. So it's difficult because there's so many people, and it's finding your voice. It took me a long time to find my voice. I know you hear people say that, but it's like When you're on YouTube, you have to be yourself, but you also have to be entertaining as well. So there's a fine mix of that. So that's the challenge, I think, is just being comfortable in front of the camera, because I'm talking to a camera. You're not here with me right now. So I have to make it feel like we're talking to each other. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting across me and we're talking to each other. So that is one of the challenges, being seen, and then just find your voice. And I would say that if you're thinking about doing this, just be yourself. I'm not saying everybody's name when I'm doing this. I'm sorry. That was Leslie asked that. I'm sorry, I'm not. Are you friends with any other people on YouTube? What are other things you enjoy doing? I don't talk to a lot of people on YouTube, to be honest with you. I talk to Lori from Pride in Photos. We text each other and talk to each other. Don't talk to a lot of people off of YouTube. Like generally, I just don't. I don't know why. Just the way it is. The things I enjoy doing. I love going to Disney. If you know that about me, I love going to Disney. I love the ocean. I love going to the beach. I'm a Disney freak. That's what I do. That's what I do for fun. In the summertime, we'll enjoy our pool. I know I'm probably going to come off as very boring. Karen says, keeping the privacy, of course. What does my husband and daughter do job-wise? Just curious. Maybe they could say hello. My husband works from home, and he's doing the same thing he did before we left. He loves his job. My daughter is a student in college, and I don't share them on my channel out of, just for their privacy. I signed up to do this, to put myself out there. They didn't. So, I got crazy on that blush there. I should have, I didn't blot it off. This is what happens when you don't blot it off, but it'll be okay. I'll fix it in a second. They didn't sign up to do this YouTube thing. I did. I'm just taking the side of my brush here and just kind of blending that a little bit because it got a little crazy. But they didn't sign up to do this. So I don't share their photos or anything. There was a time that I have shared their photos maybe in a blog post or something in the past, but I just don't do that anymore. I don't share photos of them just because this is me. They didn't sign up to do this. They didn't sign up to be, have their names out there and their photos and stuff. So I just don't. That's just how it goes. Karen's stuff said, what are your ride to die products? Maybe you've done one. I'll have to do a video on ride to die because I don't want to just pull stuff out and say, yeah, this is my ride to die, because it's in front of me. Like, I want to be real with you, but I will say this because this is in front of me. Daniel Sandler blushes. I love them. I really, really love them. You guys know that. I've shared that before. I sound like a robot, but this is definitely my ride or die. But if you guys wanted me to share like a ride or die makeup or skincare or whatever, let me know in the comments. How much do YouTubers make? Can you really make a living off this? This is from Deborah. How much can a beauty influencer make? That is a hard question, and I will tell you why that is. Everybody makes something different. And it doesn't matter how big your channel is. You would think that somebody that has a huge channel, huge following, they're making like a ton of money on their Google AdSense. And that's not always the case. Sometimes smaller channels do better than bigger. But I will tell you this, with what I make, I would not be able to survive. I would be homeless. I would not be able to make it. People think that everybody on YouTube makes all this money. They don't. But how you make money on YouTube is you make it with your Google ads. So those are the ads that play. Now I put ads in the front and the back end of my videos, but I don't place any ads anywhere else in my videos. If there are there, I didn't place them there. Google does that. I don't do that. But I do give them the, if they want to do that, they can do that, but I don't personally place ads inside my videos. If you skip a video, then I don't get paid for it. So I do appreciate all of you guys that let those videos play. Thank you so much. Depends on the video. Some videos do better than others. It just all in views. The higher views you get on a video, the more you're going to make. But again, it's not like I'm not rolling in the dough, honey. Okay. Another way that you can make money is by affiliate links. I always share that. I always disclose that. And you can also make money from sponsored videos. You can make it on using codes. I have a code down there right now for Lisa's brushes, which I do not get paid for. So some codes you don't make any money from. It just gives you guys a discount, but we don't make anything. Or I should say BK Beauty. I don't get paid for that. But then you guys get to save a little money. And on Colleen Rothschild, I do have a code that I make commission in, but I haven't made any money yet. So sometimes you don't get paid unless you make a certain amount of money. That's how that works too. Now, let me just talk about the code really quick. There's a lot of questions I want to get to. I don't know why people have such a problem with codes. I think as long as someone's being upfront about it, I don't know what the big deal is, because when I go shopping for something, I look for a code. So I really don't care if somebody's getting paid for it. If it saves me 10%, 20%, whatever, give me that code, honey. You know what I mean? So I don't know why people get so weird about that, but some people do, and I don't understand it. When I'm buying something, I want to save the money, so I use the code. Karen Stuff asks, how often do you go to Disney? Do you have year passes? What's my favorite ride? Restaurants? Would you consider taking us with you? Don't vlog, only because if I go off and do something different, then YouTube will not share my videos. They won't share my videos. It's like if I do something other than makeup or skincare, most of you guys aren't going to see it. Because here's the thing, they keep track of everything that you do. So they see the videos that you're watching. So if you tend to watch more makeup, they're going to only show you makeup, and that's what you're going to see in your feed. My favorite ride is Peter Pan's flight, though. I could ride that all day long. That is my happy place. Ride restaurants. My favorite restaurants there. I love the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot. Love it, loved it. Italy Pavilion. I love the restaurants in Italy. The resorts have great food. Boma's great at Animal Kingdom. Love that. Tusker House and Animal Kingdom Park. I love that. Leah asked me if you could collaborate with a brand, what would it be? And if you could create a product, what would it be? Eye palette, brushes, highlighters, etc. If I could collaborate with a brand, it would be, I don't know what brand I would want to collaborate with, but it would be skincare. But I don't know off of the top of my head who I would, I don't have a brand in mind that I would say, I want to work with them, but I know one thing, I would never want to do makeup. There's too much drama with makeup in this community. Somebody says, I think I hear an accent. Where are you from? I am from Illinois, from the Midwest, close to Chicago, so I don't know if it's a Midwestern accent. So Christine writes, my 19-year-old daughter has a facial scar on her lip and face from an accident, and she had it 6. She's very insecure about it despite 2 revision surgeries. Any words of wisdom to help her feel more secure? I know this sounds so cliche, but it is so true. This is what matters inside. It really does. What's inside of a person, that's more important than anything than what we look like on the outside, and to tell her how special that she is, because she is, Mama, she's special. I know how she feels, because I felt like this was all of me, and this doesn't define me. That doesn't define me. Besides your diet, do you have a workout routine? I walk 5 days a week for about 2.5 miles, but that's my exercise. And then on the weekends, we're usually out somewhere walking too. So when we moved here, we wanted to be really active, and we are. Louise asks, what equipment do you use? How did you know where to start doing your first video? How did you learn to do it? Do you get PR? Do you want to get more or more? I use a ring light, and I can't remember the name of it, but I have a ring light. I have 2 umbrella lights. That's it. That's all I have. And then my camera is a Sony TI5. It has a boom mic on it. Sometimes you hear my lights. There's like a noise. I hear it just from the heat, I guess, from the lights that I hear. That's annoying. I would love to upgrade my camera. I know somebody made a comment on that recently, that they like my videos, but they wish that my camera didn't go focus and unfocus. It's just an automatic focus. But yes, I would love to get a better camera too. Eventually I will, because if I want to upgrade my camera, a lens is thousands of dollars for a good lens. That's not even counting the body of it. Usually the body of a camera is less expensive than the lenses. The lenses is what costs a lot of money. So it is on my wish list. Eventually I will be able to afford to do. How did I learn to do my videos? I just did it. I think either you have a knack to be in front of a camera or you don't. Do I get PR and do I want to get more? That is a good question. We're going to talk about that. So I do get some PR and you guys know about it because I will tell you whether I like something or not. And just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's bad. Just because I like something doesn't mean it's good. I always tell you guys that. I am very thankful for PR that I get. I don't get a ton of PR. I am thankful for the PR that I get, but I don't want a lot of PR. And I know you don't hear a lot of people saying that, but I actually don't. And I know you're probably like, I don't believe you. And here's why though. I just don't want to get I see some of the PR that gets sent out and these companies will send like every single shade of a concealer, every single shade of a foundation. I just don't need all that. I'm not someone that's just going to do swatches on stuff. I've already told you how I feel about that. I just feel like for me, if you show something and I like how it looks on you, then I'm going to get it. If you show me an eye palette and I like how it looks, I'm probably going to buy it. You know what I mean? I don't need to see the swatches on the arms and all that. So I don't ever want to get so much PR that I have boxes everywhere. I see that and I just think that's just nuts. Like, who needs to have that much stuff? I shared my makeup, I hate to say collection, just my makeup. And I don't have drawers of makeup. Want to see my makeup collection? Back there. I do have another little acrylic thing that I'm not going to move my camera, but you've seen it. And this, that's it. Somebody wants to know my opinion on eyebrow bars. I'm scared to go. Did you learn on your own? Yours look perfect. Mine do not look perfect. They're not perfect. But if that's a place where you go get microblading, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of it if somebody gets it done, because you do whatever you want to do. But me, I don't want to do it. A couple of reasons. One, I don't want to upkeep it. I just don't want to upkeep it. It's not like a one and done deal. You got to go all the time. It's like lash extensions. I don't have time to do that. But what I would tell you is if you're thinking about doing it, do your research. Do your research, read reviews, see if you can get somebody that you've actually seen go there. Make sure it's clean. Just be careful. That's what I would say. What color are my eyes? Oh my gosh, that's a good question. What color are my eyes? I guess they're green. I always thought they were hazel. They're like yellow and green and gray and blue. I don't know. I have the weirdest eyes because they will change. If I wear something that's more blue, they look more blue. If I wear green, they will look more green. It's just wild. So my eyes are like a kaleidoscope. My dad has blue eyes. My mom has brown eyes and I have this color eyes. So I don't know. That was from Susan. Jeanette says, I hope I'm saying your name right. Jeanette. I'm curious how you learned to put on makeup so perfectly. Oh, thank you. You're gorgeous to me, and when you get all your makeup on, it truly does look flawless to me. I have bad scar close to the area as yours. I'm wondering how you cover it so well. I can't really cover my scar that well. I don't know if you can see it, but mine is raised and it's like a zigzag. My biggest thing is the redness. So what I do with mine is I will use a color corrector. So I would say if you have, I don't know if I would use, it depends on your scar. I mean, you probably could use this. This is a mineral color corrector from Color Science. So I'm going to use it a little bit right now. I would put it on. It will cancel out some of that redness. That's all I do. I used to put concealer on. I don't. One thing you don't want to do is if you put any concealer on, you don't want to put anything lighter on because you're going to highlight that. So you want to go just a slightly darker, but you don't want to go too dark either. It's just like when you are covering up a pimple, you don't want to go lighter. You want to actually go darker because you don't want to highlight your pimple. I would say look into Dermablend. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I'm pretty sure Ulta sells it. It's specifically made for covering up scars and veins and different things like that. It's a thicker makeup, but you put it on, you blend it in really well, use very little, then you go over and you set it with a powder. If your scar is deeper, like a line, you can cover it much better than mine, and you will probably be able to cover it so you don't even see it. CXC, I'm also a hairdresser. How long have you been one? Do you work in a salon? I got my license in 1988, and when we moved here, I gave up my license. I have not worked in a salon for many, many years. I was kind of doing it on the side before we moved here, like friends and family I was doing, but then I stopped, got rid of my license when we moved here. Would love to know how and why you made your YouTube channel when your love of makeup took over your life. I've always loved makeup since I was a little girl. I always loved makeup. I loved playing with rollers in my hair, so that's probably why I got into being a hairdresser, because I just always liked that. And then after I had my daughter, I really wasn't into makeup, because you don't have time. When you have a little baby, you don't have time to do your makeup. So I kind of got out of it until I turned 40. And then I turned 40 and I wanted to get into it, and I was like, what the hell happened to my skin? Nothing was working on my skin. It was so frustrating. It took me a long time to figure out what to do with my makeup and my skin again, and I just had to get back into it. But I've always loved doing it. It says, do you work besides YouTube? No, this is my job. This is my full-time job, and people that work with YouTube, I don't know how they do it, because this is a full-time job. I have a blog on top of this. So when I'm filming a video, you have to film this, you have to edit, which takes hours to do. You have to do a thumbnail, you have to do all your information in there. It takes a lot of time. You know, writing a blog post takes a lot of time, and then you have to go on social media and make your presence there, which I need to get better about. But I don't know how people do it with jobs. I know people have blogs and have jobs, and I do not know how they do it, because that's a full-time job. When I first started my blog, I was working 7 days a week for 12 hours a day. With this, if we're not going anywhere, I'm working, because I just feel like I'm going to work if we're home. My husband's been getting me out on the weekends, but when we are home, so like Saturday I was home, so I worked 6 days a week. So I had Sunday off. So I'm always working. So I don't know how people do it with a job. I really, really don't. And I recommend a couple of good finishing powders. There's only one that I've used lately that I could recommend. I'll have to try some other ones, but this is the one that it's a Makeup Forever. I love this one. This has been a repurchase for me. If something is a repurchase for me, then you know I really, really like it. What are some of my favorite TV shows, and what type of music do you like to listen to? That's from Susan. I like to laugh. So I like comedy. I don't watch a lot of TV. I like Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's going to be going off pretty soon. Will and Grace we watch. Baroness von Sketch. It's a Canadian-based show. It's an all-female cast. They're freaking hilarious. We watch it on the independent film channel. My husband records it. You guys, so funny. You guys have to check it out.
Is it perimenopause? I don't know. Do you have more underarm hair? My armpit hair got a lot thicker. Or was that on my chin?
Daily asks me 2 questions. What's your biggest pet peeve? And everyone has idiosyncrasies. My pet peeves are rude, loud, annoying people. But that's probably like for everybody, right? Nobody likes rude, loud, annoying people. Someone says, I'm new here. I've heard you talk about your scar. How did you get it? So I was born with a cleft lip. I had surgery on it, and that's why I have my scar. I've had 2 surgeries, and both were terrible. But that's why I have my scar. Anne Marie, I'm a former Eastern Floridian. What area of Florida do you live in? I live in Central Florida. I'm not going to say exactly where, but I live very close to Disney. Meet your husband. Oh boy, here to go. I met my husband when I was 16 going on 17. He was 18 going on 19. It's kind of like the in The Sound of Music. I was the third wheel on a date. He was dating my friend, and it's not bad. Don't be judgmental. He was dating my friend, and she always wanted me to be with on their dates. It's very weird. So he broke up with her. Picked me up for school one day. He wanted to talk to me. I'm like, oh boy. He wanted to date me. And I felt really uncomfortable. I talked to my friend. I said, let's go out with me. I feel kind of weird because you guys dated. And she's like, I don't care, go out with them. So I'm like, are you sure? Go out with them. I'm like, okay. So I said yes. And then she ran around and told everybody that I stole her boyfriend. It was one of those deals. We will be married for 31 years. It says, this is from Fiery Bell. Have a best friend you socialize with a lot, or are you a homebody who likes their own company? I don't have any friends here. I have no friends here. I have a couple of friends back home that I still keep in touch with, but I don't have any friends here. Don't feel sorry for me. If I wanted to have friends, I could go out and make friends, but I just kind of don't want to. And the reason is I just don't have time. I'm busy Monday through Friday with my blog and my channel, and the weekends I want to spend time with my husband. I'm fine the way it is. The second part of that was, he used to follow me on my white lace cottage. Do I still repurpose paint furniture? What style is my home now? Are you still into shabby chic look? I still have my blog, and I still have all my old painting techniques and all that on there, but now I add makeup on there. So that's really what I post about now. I'm not really into home decor. When we moved here, I sold most of my stuff and I started all over again. And my style here is more very casual, modern beach is what I would say. Modern beach, but it's very, very minimal. I don't have a lot of stuff in my house. I don't want to clean it all. Skin, what's your favorite foundations and concealers? One of my new favorite concealers, I did a video on this, is the Anastasia color corrector concealer. It only comes in 2 shades though, so I love that. I still love my Lancome Effacierins. I have the Lancome Magnifique, if I'm saying that right, and the color corrector from Chanel. It's a color corrector concealer from Chanel. Those I like. Foundations, I have a few that I have several that I like. The one that I'm wearing today is the Anastasia. I love that one. This one is very expensive. It's a Sicily. I enjoy using it. I don't know if I buy it again. I'll see when I run out, but I do really enjoy that one. Hide and Chic. My Chanel Perfection Lumiere, and then they have the new one too, but I'm trying to use this one up first. My Le Beiges tint, this is still the first one, so I don't use it all the time, and I use very little of that. On my crafty, oh yes, because I was doing those craft videos. It says, Kelly said, it's discovered you were crafty. Do you still like crafting? Do I listen to podcasts? Do I read or listen to books? Watch TV? What's my favorites? My 5-year goals. Okay, crafting. I used to be a crafty person. I'm not anymore. I just don't have time to do that. I don't really listen to podcasts. I don't read books because I don't have time for that. I only watch TV at nighttime, so watch a movie or the shows that I mentioned before. My 5-year goals. I really have a dream of having a little beach place. That, I don't know if it's going to be 5 years. I don't know when it's going to happen. But I would like to have a little beach place, and I don't want a big place, like maybe a little condo, something really tiny that we could just go for the weekend and enjoy peace and quiet on a very quiet beach. That's my goal. Still have this place, obviously, but just have something just to get away for the weekend. That I would love to find something like that, but yeah, who knows. My last job before YouTube, what advice would you give someone who's thinking about starting a channel? This is from Anna. Would I be willing to do a video tutorial how to edit? Oh gosh, that's hard to teach. Because it depends on the program. There's so many different programs. I use Power Director, and there's so many videos out there. Like if you type in on YouTube Power Director, you will find so many. That's how I learned, as I go to other YouTube videos. How do you get inspiration for your content? So my last job before YouTube was being a mom. I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I did work a little bit when my daughter was little, but it was just always hard to work with her schedule, because when she was really little, I wanted to be that homeroom mom. I wanted to be there for her parties and do all that fun stuff. So I did that until I couldn't do it anymore, and that's when I started my blog. And that's when then after that I started I think 5 years after my blog, or 5 or 6 years after my blog, I started my channel. 9 years I've had my blog. If you're thinking about doing this, do it for the right reason. I know you hear it all the time, don't do it for the money. Do it because you enjoy. There's something that you're really passionate about, you want to share. When I started my blog, I never started my blog because I want to make money, because I didn't even know you could make money on your blog. And it took me many years before I actually made money on my blog. I worked, like I said, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day on my blog. Because you're researching, you're photographing, you're editing that, you're writing it, you're editing all of that content that you just wrote. Then you're reading other people's blog posts and leaving comments on there, because that's how that works with blogs. That's how you meet up with other people. And then you start getting involved with groups that are helpful groups that will help, your blog. So you're involved in all that stuff, and it's just very, very time consuming, but it's paid off for me because that's part of my income is my blog. How long have I been married? This is from Sandy. How many children? I've been married for, it will be 31 years in June. We met in 1983, so 37 years or something we've been together. March 25th is our dating anniversary, and we have one. I have a daughter. Did I learn to do makeup? Did I teach myself? I went to beauty school, learned some makeup there. I took classes on it. It says, hi, did you ever go back on HRT? I remember you said you've gone off because you were getting migraines. I just started back on it. Just wondering. I am in the midst of going back on it again. I went to see another doctor. Would you and your family ever come to, I would love to visit the UK. I would love to visit the UK. I would love to go to France. I would love to go to Italy. There's places I would love to travel to. Favorite binge show to watch? Baroness von Sketch. Baroness von Sketch. I can watch those over and over. It is so fun. You guys have to check it out. Favorite discontinued beauty product? Is there anything you use that you count irreplaceable? Concealers are really hard to find. So I would say if they got rid of this, I would be upset, because you know how hard it is to find stuff, and I'm really enjoying this too. So I would say those two things I would be upset, because it's so hard to find a good concealer. Is there anything I could change about Florida? You're gonna hate my answer. It would be that it would be hot all year round, because I do not like the winter here. Here's the thing, everybody thinks it's hot here all the time. It isn't. When winter time comes, at least where we live, it can get in the 40s. It can get in the 50s and 60s. Yesterday was in the 70s, and it was a little too chilly for me, okay? My sister-in-law has lived here for 40 years. She's actually from Chicago, and she's the same as me. She's like, I can't wait till this cold ends because we're such wimps here. So I actually like the summers when it's hot. I do. And if it was like that all the time, I'd be happy, but it's not. Favorite meal out is probably Mexican, because Mama loves some margaritas, and we have a really good Mexican restaurant by me, so love it. My favorite vacation destination, I'm living in it. This was my favorite vacation destination was Florida, and now I live here. So, and there's so much to see. It's more than Disney. There's beaches. There's so many, and every beach is different here. It depends on which side you go to. You get a different experience. There's so much to do here. It's just, I'm really thankful. Heidi said, is there anything else you're into besides makeup and skincare here on YouTube? Yes. There is a channel called The Proper People. I love that channel. And what it is there's two college guys, and they explore abandoned buildings, and they just have such an amazing way of their photography and just everything. It's suspenseful sometimes because what they're doing is, I think, illegal. They're not supposed to be going into abandoned places, but they're very respectful. They don't do anything. Sometimes they go in there, people have already done all this, spray paint and just, terrible things to it, but they don't. They just go in there and they get excited when they see chippy paint, which I can relate to because I used to be like that. I'd see chippy paint and I would lose it. Another one I like to watch is Jenna Marbles. I like to watch her. I think she's funny. She seems like such a nice person in real life. She seems like somebody that would be really, really nice to you. She doesn't look like she's full of herself, even though she has a big channel. And I love that. I love how down to earth she is. Chi-Chi says, I burn scars. I have a hard time finding affordable foundation that doesn't make them look more noticeable. So I guess it's if you're trying to color, scars are really hard. If you're trying to cover the redness first, then I would use something that would color correct that first. Scars are really, really hard, and it just depends if there's texture in it, if it's a deep scar. Dermablend is something that you could try. I don't know if you've ever tried that. That is specifically made for people that have and scars. So I would look into that brand. I think it's pricey, but you use so little product, it probably will last you forever. Have I ever met any of my subscribers? Now, I'm talking about acquaintances, random people. No, actually, and this was from Teresa. Somebody actually spotted me at my local grocery store. They told me that in the comment, but they never came up to me. If you ever see me, please don't be afraid to come up to me. I'm just a person. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just like you. Just a regular person. So if you ever see me, don't be afraid to say hi to me or whatever. Please don't. I'm not full of myself. Okay? And I'm just a person. I'm nobody special. So if you see me and you want to say hi, please feel free to come up to me and say hi. Alexandra, how many kids do you have? I have one. Have you been married only once? Only one, honey. I've only been married once. Do you like or have you ever used Clinique? I used to use Clinique all of the time. That was my first introduction to luxury, although it was called department store makeup at the time. That was the very first makeup I ever used, and I used Clinique for years, but I feel like I've outgrown it. I don't use a lot. I do use the Moisture Surge moisturizer. I don't know. I used to love their skincare, but I just don't use a lot of Clinique because it just doesn't work for me anymore. It's a shame. I don't know. I just like grew out of it. Yes, I've always been into, so Jennifer asked if I've always been into makeup. Yes, always been into makeup. My style has definitely evolved, and I have been every color. I have been bleach blonde. I have been dark, I have been red, I have been short, I have had long hair. I've had bangs, I have no bangs. I've had curly, I've had straight. Have you ever considered getting Botox or fillers? No, I really haven't. I have nothing against it if people want to do that. Maybe if I had deep lines and stuff, maybe I would, but I don't really have that issue. I mean, I have lines, you can see. You know what I mean? I can make lines, but I just don't want to do it. I just worry. A couple of reasons. One, I worry about what it would do to me, like in the future. Like, what is that going to do to me? What's it going to do to inside my body? Putting that stuff in me. I don't like needles in my face, and I always think that somebody's going to do a terrible job and they're going to mess me up, and I would think I should have just left things alone. So the only thing I hate is this, and I wish there was something I could do with this. Other than that, I'm fine with myself. I don't think that I need it. I really don't. I know some people would probably argue that, but I don't think I need it. I'm fine. I'm fine. So but I have nothing against anybody who wants to do. If you want to do it, girl, you do it. Declan says she's a new subscriber and she likes my no BS approach. And she said that as she turns 50, what advice for us warm moments? I feel at times my foundation slides off and gets shiny. Honestly, I don't really believe in primers. I just don't. I've never, the only ones I think that are good are the ones that are pore filling, but if you use a beauty blender, you don't have to use a pore primer, because I used to use one of those and I don't anymore. But less makeup is best. It really, really is. I live somewhere where it's hot and humid, and the less makeup I wear, the better. I could put all of the sticking primer, I could put all of powder and setting spray and all that, and I'm telling you, it's not going to make a difference for me. It just won't. So I just use less. So on the days when you're feeling like you're really hot, don't do foundation. If you can do it, just use like a concealer and just spot put on where you need it and blend it into your makeup. It's not going to look like if you match it up well, it's not going to look like, oh my God, I got makeup here and there and there. It does not look like it. I've showed you guys close up what my face looks like when I do that, and it doesn't look like that. So that's what I would do. Less is best. Less is best. Do you feel as comfortable in your own skin as I do at 47? I heard stories about when I was younger. This is from Itza Jones. Heard stories about it when she was younger. First time in life, I'll be like, okay, I can cover those dark circles. I own these crow's feet. You know what? I do feel like it. I do feel more comfortable in my skin, because I said that even about my lip. If you would have told me years ago that I would have been in front of a camera, because this was more upsetting to me than anything else, I go on camera with no makeup on. So I don't know how much braver you could be than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many of you are going to go outside without, like, a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people would not go and show thousands of people their naked face. But I just feel like the older I get, I'm just getting more and more comfortable in my skin. And I don't know, I just, it's less stuff bothers me like that. I just don't care anymore. I just have that attitude. And it's not a bad attitude. It's just that, like, I don't care, like, if somebody doesn't like me. I don't care if somebody doesn't like the way I look. I just don't really care. Somebody's saying here, you mentioned that you had your own line of paints. Let's say, how did I start it? Why did it end? How did we meet? Which I shared. What type of work do I do? Which is my blog and my YouTube. How do I spend my free time? Usually cleaning, going to the grocery store, doing laundry. Once in a while I give myself a day off. That's what I do on my free time, except for the weekends when we'll go to a park or something like that. So I had a paint line. I was working with a company called Heirloom Traditions. She approached me, sent me paint. I started using it. I just asked her, I said, I would love to create a line of colors that are more like shabby chic colors, pastel colors. And so that's how that happened. So makeup, in the makeup field here, we would call that collaboration, but this was part of their permanent line. So I felt like it was more of a line than a collaboration. And so we worked together for several years. And the owner flipped on me, and she was doing things I did not agree with a lot of people that were retailers. She was going in a direction I was not comfortable with. I was trying to keep up and paint things even though we were moving. She was getting demanding about it, and then just took all my paints off and didn't tell me. And so I was like, okay, bye-bye. So I just kind of parted ways. I was thankful that she did that, but then she was just she was just all about money, and she didn't care what she did to get that money. So I didn't like that. I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys have been with me for a long time. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the end. If you stuck around to the end, let me know in the comments below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your questions. You asked me some good juicy questions and I appreciate it. And I will catch you guys all in my next video.